wish I had a model railroading. I mean, I guess this cat could kind of be a model railroading prop, maybe on an old steam locomotive or something like that. But I wish I had a model railroading prop to discuss the next thing. People wonder. My biggest podcast is Model Rail Radio. It's well known across the globe. I mean, it's one of these few pieces of IP which I probably wouldn't have to defend with a lot of videos on YouTube because it's well accepted. It's well known. People love Model Rail Radio. People could try and rip it off, but let's just say Model Rail Radio is a well-known entity in the model railroading hobby. And I came to Model Rail Radio because I had recorded for about 4 years about artificial life, which ultimately what Noble Ape's about. So the Biota podcasts came before Model Rail Radio, and they taught me a format which worked very well with Model Rail Radio. Now you might wonder, what's the difference, like what's the connection, not the difference, what's the connection between artificial life simulation, the stuff that I do with Noble Ape, and the model railroading hobby? I will explain. With artificial life, you're creating a universe, a small universe, well, a universe, with simulated entities, with simulated physics, with a wide variety of other things in it, but you're creating a universe which you're ultimately tinkering in creating. You spend a lot of time working on minutiae and testing various parts. I put up recently the clouds that I've been working on. The weather simulation has moved forward to the clouds. And I ultimately was tinkering. It was taking an idea of the existing weather simulation, an idea of how I actually drew that, and creating a nice phase kind of alpha blend of the clouds of the Noble Apes, moving under the clouds. And that is analogous to so many aspects of the model railroading hobby. That people will create benchwork, lay track, get the locomotives running, start adding scenery, start adding structures, bring people over for operating sessions. Operating sessions are just a means of lots of people enjoying their model railroads, and this is ultimately what happens with artificial life simulators when you release simulations. Very similar. Here's the thing that I learnt from Biota Live, which I used in Model Rail Radio, the most important thing. That's respect. Existential respect. That when I was interviewing simulators and when I was interviewing people that had created model rail layouts, I needed to show them really solid existential respect. I needed to create a community of easygoing, just fun-loving discussion, basically. And it's true there have been various outliers in both communities, both artificial life and model railroading, where that hasn't always been possible. Been insulted in a wide variety of different ways by both communities, in strange ways. But these are real outliers. Slightly more in artificial life than in model railroading. But eventually, even the naysayers will meet me, in at least the model railroading hobby, and get a sense that, no, actually, I'm pretty authentic about this thing. I actually just enjoy recording people talking, putting it out for other people to listen to. And the nature of the subject matter is familiar to me in one light because I understand the level of obsession and effort that one will put into creating a universe. And that's ultimately what these model railroaders are doing as well. Although they're doing things a lot more physically than the artificial life simulators do with software, it's still basically the same kind of thing. And it's interesting, actually, the ratios and these kind of things associated with men, women, all this other stuff, transgender community, these kind of folk. You see this in both model railroading and also artificial life development. The artificial life community is tiny. Absolutely tiny. I mean, you're really talking maybe, if you're lucky, 100 people, maybe 150 people, a core community of, 50, 60 people, perhaps. It's more the hobbyists, the academics, maybe 200. And model railroading is huge. I mean, still it's huge. You think this thing's small? No. I would visit academics in the Midwest, all of them are model railroaders. All of them without exception. You've got a long winter, you've got nothing better to do, you're relatively middle class, you've got kids, you built a layout, you're a model railroader. So that's the connection between simulation and model railroading.